Hi everyone, this is Johnnyonoes, and I'm playing Pulsar, Lost Colony, and in this Let's Learn episode, I'm going to go over the interior of the Carrier. The Carrier is the last ship on our list here, and it is part of the AOG, or Neutral faction, along with the Stargazer. Now, the Carrier is kind of a special type of ship. It doesn't really kind of have its own strength or weakness, but I would see the Carrier as kind of the ship for the most advanced players. As you can see, the stats that you start off with are abysmal. 1500 hull, 80 shields. We've been one-shot many times in this carrier in the beginning of the game. So this game is, this ship is really for people that know exactly what they're doing and are ready to just kind of work really hard in the beginning. But the bonus that it gets, scrap is more likely to contain components. This is a huge bonus, especially with the fact that this ship has so many cargo spots. Look at all that cargo. So, near the end of the game, you're going to be destroying a lot of people if that's your play style. If you're going to go for weapons and you're going to be destroying people left and right, you're going to want to have this bonus near the end of the game, where every time you destroy something, the scrap that you pick up may contain a component. The other good thing about being AOG right off the bat is that your reputation will be high with them, which will allow you to access the really high-priced shops that will give you really amazing components. So, like I said, this ship is all about, you got to know exactly what you're doing. You're going to start off the game really weak. Really weak. You're not going to be able to fight anybody unless you're really lucky with a boarding action and everyone is really on the same page. So the Carrier is going to be very difficult to play if you're relatively new to the game. I would highly suggest the Intrepid if you're going to start the game. But it's got reversible main thrusters and it has an extractor. So you're having the ability to get components from both the scrap left behind by a ship getting destroyed, as well as extracting it using the extractor. All right, let's go ahead and jump inside the ship. All right, so here's the bridge of the Carrier. It's got everything that you'd expect. It's got the helm right here. It doesn't really have any panels or anything to tell you what's going on, but you just head to the front of the ship and you'll be able to drive the ship around. So the captain's chair is right here on the left-hand side of the bridge, and it actually has a really nice damage indicator right here, which allows the captain to be the one that's calling out who's getting or what's getting damaged. You can also select where the missiles will be hit as well. Really nice placement for the captain. Fortunately, the communications panel is a little bit on the small side, so it's kind of hard for people to see what's going on with the captain, but it's okay. Not as bad as the Stargazers. In the captain's chair, you do have the ability of interacting with the warp, which is really nice, in case the engineer is busy doing something else. You can see both the engineering station and the science station really clearly from here. You really wanted to click on programs from all the way over here. All right, so the engineering station's on the right-hand side here. It's got all the screens that you'd expect. Once again, I suggest be in the engineering room if you're the engineer. And you have your science station right here. As you can see, there is no damage indicator for the science officer. So the science officer is going to have to use this one over here, but the captain's closer, so let the captain call out damage on this particular ship. So you have virus on the left, comms on the right, and your computers and sensors in the middle. Alright, so the interior of the ship is very confusing, just like the Stargazer, and it's for a reason. This is the AOG, and they're all about obfuscation, keeping things hidden, being stealthy, so their interiors are purposely all over the place. Like, you just have like this random laser turret. Let's see what slot it is. So it looks like it is the first slot for the laser turret. So I guess this would be good for the captain if you wanted to pew-pew with the laser turret, or the first slot. You have random crew quarters here. Like, you have the pilots. The pilot has a room. The captain has a room. I think every class has their own room in this one. So the lockers aren't right next to each other. They're all separated, which is kind of a pain, but you got a deal. So here is, we're going to keep going just straight back. Going straight back leads you to kind of like this bare room that has nothing in it. So this ship is different. I'm going to turn the lights on. It's really dark in here. So going straight back will bring you to that room that does nothing. It will also bring you to another room over here, which is basically all aesthetics. Like there's nothing in here. I think there's a bathroom on the other side. Nope, no, there's just a kitchen. Some interesting looking purple fruit. But everything past this junction point here is pretty much all aesthetic and doesn't have anything useful for anyone to work with. Starting at the junction point here, we're facing the back of the ship right now. Now, when the weapons and science rooms are split, the science room is going to be on the left-hand side of the ship. Now, where those rooms are on this ship are near the back of the ship. So let's go ahead to the left-hand side of the ship, and here is the science room along with the atrium. So it has all your screens. Everything is all in the same place, science-related. Station is right here to be repaired. And if we go back to the junction, the same is on the right-hand side of the ship with the weapons. So here's the main gun. Here is the second turret. And the station's right here, along with all the nuclear-related stuff on this side. Let's head back to the junction so we get a clear indication of where we are. So that's the bridge. I'm getting confused myself. So the science area is on the back left of the ship. The weapons are on the back right. Let's go see what's over on this side. So if you go to the front of the ship, you'll see more crew rooms. So it looks like you got engineering here, and you've got the scientist here. So this is the front right of the ship. The very front of the bottom deck, you have the teleporter, which has the exosuits right next door, as well as the teleporter and the life support. So once again, this is an AOG related design. So everything is kind of in different spots, kind of sprinkled about, not really separated properly, but it does make for an interesting design, and it's got stuff right next to each other. So life support, exosuits, as well as the teleporter right there. And the atrium is not too far from here either. So here's where the weapons guy has his own little room. And it looks like there's a bathroom right here on the front left of the ship. So that is this junction here. So we've covered the front lower deck, we covered the bridge, and we covered both weapons and science. So to get to engineering, you got to go through you have to go through weapons or science, or just kind of go through this room here. So if you go, sorry, this is very confusing. If you go straight, and then you hit this junction, you don't want to go through this door because there's nothing there, and then you head towards the back of the ship, you'll get into the cargo bay. And the cargo bay has doors on the sides here, which has additional cargo slots. And if you hit this little painting here, click on that, you'll open up the secret compartment with additional cargo. This is where you'll go if it's time to hide from the scanners. You put all your contraband in here, as well as any character that has any contraband on them. You just click on that picture again to close the secret passageway. And further back, we finally have engineering, which is on the very far back of the ship. It seems to have the same kind of setup as most of the other ships. You have your warp, and you got your power systems here on the right-hand side of the ship. The station is right behind the reactor, and all the rest is on the other side. So during combat, you'd be on the left-hand side of the ship. When you're traveling, you'd be standing in the right-hand side of the ship if you're the engineer. Yeah, there's really nice big damage indicator too. I would love to have something like that. That'd be so cool to have on the bridge. But yeah, that is the carrier. So let's go over what the engineer paths and the repair paths would have to be. So to repair the ship, you got your engineering right here. To get to, let's see if I can remember it properly. To get to weapons is on the right-hand side, so you can repair from there. And then to get to science, you can go on the left-hand side. So both stations are relatively easy for the engineer to get to. But it looks like life support is going to be on the far right of the ship in the front deck. I think that's where it was, wasn't it? No, it's on. Yep, no, it's in the center. It's just in the front of the deck. So that's kind of where the engineer would have to run if he was to repair anything. It seems like life support would be something that the captain would be suggested to repair, or the weapons guy, who's just like right here. But it's still a long trek, even for the weapons guy. Long trek for the engineer, obviously, because he has to cross the cargo area. I would suggest having the captain be responsible for repairing life support, because he'll be at the bridge and being able to easily run from the bridge. It's still a long run, though. Gosh, this is a very difficult vessel to keep repaired. So if the captain sees that the life support's out, then he would run through here, past those 2 rooms, head to the left, take a sharp left again, and another left. Right to the life support. Alright, folks, so this is the AOG Carrier. Probably the ship that I'm going to be running with the next time I play. Being able to find components on scrap drops is going to be a very interesting endeavor. I can't wait to see how that pans out for us. But yeah, this is the Carrier. Probably the hardest ship to use in the game, both from the stats that you start with, which are minuscule, 80 shields, 1500 hull. It's like a one-shot with a high-level main cannon. And not to mention the interior, as you can see, is extremely convoluted and on purpose. All right, folks, so this is Johnnyonoes playing Pulsar Lost Colony. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions about this game or any of the other games that I support, please go ahead and leave your question in the comments below. All right, folks, see you later.